Good morning. What a beautiful morning it is today. Welcome to the Coffee and Sports Morning Show. I'm here with Mo and Will. Man, it's a lot going on over the weekend, over the week. NFL draft and NBA. Mo, good morning, brother. How you feeling this morning?
Good morning, Carmike. Good morning, Will, and everybody out there joining us. I'm doing
Good
great.
morning, everybody.
Blessed.
Good morning, everybody. Good to
Will,
be
what's
here.
up, man? How was your weekend, man?
Good, man. Good, man.
Was it
Outside of
good?
that 40th pick from the Saints, I'm good.
Oh, man, let's start off with the elephant in the room, man. Y'all know what the big elephant of the NFL draft was, man. Mr. Shedeur Sanders, round 5, pick 144 to the Browns. He was projected for his the two years, last 2 years of college or so. He's gonna be a top 3 pick, man, and come around and he drops to round 5. Mo, talk to me about your opinion and what happened with this pick.
I think that if you listen to the rumors about he didn't interview well or he rubbed some GMs the wrong way during the interview process. Again, when people go unknown source, I'm not big on that. But clearly, there was something going on during the course of the draft selection process where Shedeur Sanders fell like I've never seen anybody fall. It was funny because initially the thinking was he might have an Aaron Rodgers like fall to the 20-something late in the first round, early second round. The man didn't get drafted till late into the 5th round. And that became the story of the draft. Look, the interesting thing is the draft itself, I thought a lot of teams made a lot of really good, smart picks. What I can't understand is all we've been told over and over again is the most important position in the NFL is the QB position. And there were a number of teams who don't have quarterbacks who looked at Shedeur Sanders and they went and got guys I've never even heard of. And they were just picking dudes at some point over Shedeur Sanders. To me, I'm not going to get into the ifs or the whats. I will say this. If you get Shedeur Sanders where the Cavs got him at, where the Browns got him at, ultimately you're going to get incredible value. I think the kid was going to be a good quarterback. I don't know if he was ever going to be a superstar or a next level quarterback, but at a late fifth round pick, would it shock me if Shedeur Sanders ended up starting for the Browns? Not even a little bit. But the fall itself, I've never seen anything like it. So you've got all kind of conspiracy theories about people colluding against him. And it was more personal about his personality or his arrogance or his father. There's so many different avenues you could go down to. I'm not going to get caught up in that. I'm just going to take it at face value. If I'm Shedeur Sanders and I'm the player that I think I am, I'm going to have the longest list ever of people who were drafted ahead of me.
Will, come on, man. Talk to me about this. What you think would happen with this?
I thought it was personal. I really did. Mo said it in the chat. I think you said it on Sunday. The Kaepernick thing. But I thought he was blackballed. But hey, like Gene said in the chat, a lot of it he did himself. If he would have took this as an opportunity that most other guys have. Then again, I realize there's some dudes that don't throw in the combine. I understand that. But if you didn't come up what your father's saying, there's certain teams you're not going to play for, you can't have that. Then he himself didn't go to the combine and make himself any better. So I just thought that helped fuel the flame. And I thought it was a lot more personal than it was on the field. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not the biggest dude. Tyler Shaw is bigger than him. But I still think he's going to be a very good quarterback. And he can be the starting quarterback for the Browns. Joe Flacco is going to go throw interception after interception. Kenny Pickett's not that great. Deshaun Watson's not on that roster, and you got a rookie behind him. So I just think between him not going to the combine, the attitude that he had in his interviews, if you're not ready to change, don't pick me. I thought that was bad as well. No, you can't have that. And yes, they did have somewhat of a prejudice against Deion, but it sent a message to both the son and the father. And I've never seen that before. So it's 50-50. I blame the league, and I also blame Shedeur as well for not taking this the way a normal draftee would take it.
Let me just add one more thing, because a lot of people are talking about the interview process. They're saying that he tanked some of the interviews because there's certain teams he didn't want to go to. If you want to say that he and his father played their cards wrong, you can make that assessment. But let's not act like John Elway didn't pick where he wanted to go. There were teams he wasn't going to play for. Let's not act like Eli Manning.
That was a different time period, Mo. That was a different time period.
I don't care. He still did it. Let's not act like Eli Manning and the Manning family didn't manipulate it the same. They all did the same thing. So I'm not trying to hear all that. If you want to say that he
blame the league,
I don't blame the league at all. I don't blame the league. What I am saying is, if you're going to use the argument that he was arrogant or the interview process wasn't perfect, I can hear that, but don't tell me that every single team he interviewed with, it was a bad interview, right? I'm not trying to hear that. I don't believe that at all.
Hey, you never know, man.
Right, Cottrell is bang on. Don't give me that all the interviews, they act like this dude went in there and he was wearing fat gold chains and stuff, and he came in there with a hoodie on and all that, or a do-rag. Like, I don't want to hear all that. I'm not trying to hear that. They literally denigrated this kid. And you can call it collusion, whatever. I'm not trying to hear that he interviewed so poorly in every single interview. That is false. I don't want to hear that. Put your name on it. These unknown sources, don't be unknown. Be known. When you're known, then I can believe you, because then that means you're stepping up and you put your name on it. But if you're not gonna put your name on it, I don't want to hear it.
Like I said, it's 50-50 for me, because I think both sides are culpable to blame. Again, I would love to see Shedeur take it to a level of where most draftees take it. You know, you come in humble. You throw at the combine, show what you can do. You're already behind the 8 ball in a lot of ways in terms of measurables. You're already behind the 8 ball, so you need to go to the combine and show what you can do. But also, I blame the league, because I think somewhat, because I think they took it a little bit. They took it to a level it shouldn't have been brought to at all, and it was just ridiculous to me. We've never seen anything like that. Not that far of a drop. Not that far of a drop. Right. And I don't blame the kid for all of it. You can't.
Right, but does the league always get it right? Let's keep it a buck. Do they get it all right? Because Anthony Richardson is a physical freak, right? A physical freak, but he's a trash quarterback, right? He's a trash quarterback.
Is he really that physical freak when he always getting hurt now?
It's not my fault he runs like a stiff. If you run like a stiff, you're gonna get hit. The man ain't got no wiggle in it. He ain't got no wiggle in his hips. My point is, though, you're 6'3", 240, 250. You have great straight line speed, great combine numbers across the board. Has that arm and all the things people look for, and he's not going to be a great quarterback. So I'm sorry that when you do your due diligence, you can't just go, well, if you got the strong arm, if you got the big body, that's a default to being a great quarterback. That's not true. That's not true at all.
But you also don't have to code break either. You also don't have to code break either. What I mean by that, you don't have to break who you are for these people either. Yes, be humble. Yes, be professional. If you're gonna put down on the kid,
they want you to be Russell Wilson. Yeah,
exactly. But you know, it just kills me for the kid. But at the same point, you know, you could say he's in a good situation because he has a chance to start.
You know, man, it kind of burns me up, man, because the simple fact that the only one that really in the draft that could got drafted but ahead of him was Jackson Dort. But the other kid, Tyler whoever he was, man, he was garbage. And guess who picked him up?
I'm not saying I will give Tyler this.
What? You give him what?
I will give Tyler this. He's prototypical size.
He's a good kid.
Exactly. He's a good kid, and he's a good kid. He's a good kid, prototypical. Well, I don't know if you can call him a kid because he's 25, but he's a good guy.
Played like 7 years in college and still was trash.
That's a whole career.
But hold on, he's a good dude. He seems to be a good dude. He's prototypical size. He does have a cannon for arm. My issue with him is the age and the injury history. That's my issue with him, and I said that in chat.
I remember when I watched him get drafted, I said they just drafted a good placeholder, a good field goal holder. That's what they drafted. They drafted a holder.
And because of his age, you just can't say we're gonna bring him up.
But round 2, you could have got him in 5.
You
could have got him in round 5.
You could have got him undrafted. You was bidding against yourself. He would have been there undrafted. Nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody. I mean,
he went round 2.
I felt like he got drafted just to take a stab at Shedeur. Like really? Honestly, now we're just taking anybody.
I would have even been okay if the Saints went and just picked up Quinn Ewers, because Quinn Ewers had a good college career. The boy was good. He was throwing that rock and everything.
Come on, man. Let's keep it a buck. Nobody said this. I mean, I said it, but on draft night, when they kept panning to Quinn Ewers' house, and it looked like something from Cape Fear. Come on, man. That was the scariest looking backdrop I've ever seen. This dude had animal heads all over. That's a horror scene right there. And they kept panning to that. That was sick, yo.
Man. And then the way they kept, and then the way the prank call that we saw, that was just diabolical.
I'll tell you what, though. Atlanta's defense, it better be a top 5 defense, because if they get destroyed, there's gonna be all kind of ammunition. They better have a top 5 defense. Because when the kid's dad get fired, there's gonna be all kind of ammunition.
Moving on just a tad bit, not too much, but it was a quite interesting first round. But the thing that really threw me off is that now I know Cottrell gonna be mad. The Browns had the opportunity to get Travis Hunter, and they still could have got Shedeur and had a dynamic duo on their team. But they chose to not take that pressure, right? And just traded their pick away to the Jaguars for what? Because they wanted to draft Mason Graham? I'm confused.
I didn't get that. I thought for sure Cleveland was going to take Travis Hunter. I did not I did not understand that. That was the one that got me, because I thought they had a certain plan and they went another way. And again, look, they know what they want in building their team, but I think Travis Hunter is going to be a foundational player for some team. He's going to be a star. And I think he's going to be primarily on defense, and they'll have a small offensive package for him. That shocked me.
They ain't gonna like that though. I mean, well, not that he's not gonna like that. Travis Hunter said he want to play both sides of the ball. He's trying to break into a new barrier for athletes here, and if he don't get the snaps that he want on both sides, I think he's gonna start causing problems, because he seems like that kid. Like, I want to do what I want to do. I want to be the one to play both sides of the ball, and I know his body ain't even gonna hold up. The NFL is still too physical for you to do something like that. But anyway, Will, talk to me, man. How did you feel that the Browns traded down, man? Well, you think it was too much pressure for them today? I think they really want to draft Abdul Carter, but they was like, we probably gonna get killed by our fans if we do that, because Travis is still there. What you think? What you think happened with the Browns on this one?
I think they got a little scared and decided to play it safe. Is what I think they decided to do, which is fine. It's not like Graham's a bad player. He's a good player. But yeah, I think they just were scared, and they should have. A lot of these teams played it safe. I'm a type of dude, risk. You can't win unless you take some type of a risk. And some of these teams didn't take any type of high upside, high risk type players that could possibly be good for you. But I think the Cleveland Browns just played it safe and decided to go that way. I wouldn't have went that way, but that was their decision to play it safe.
We do know this is twice the Browns did that, because they could have had Saquon.
Yep.
What they do? Baker Mayfield? That's who they wanted.
It was Baker, I think.
But to be fair though, what they didn't do with what franchises needed to do, you need to show patience with a quarterback as they're developing. Baker's actually a good quarterback. Had you kept Baker, that would have changed a lot of things. They just gave up on him too quick.
You need a line for a quarterback, Mo.
Yeah, but my thing is though, if you're going to get rid of the quarterback, don't bring in the other guy with all the baggage. You know what I'm saying?
Because I don't get it.
I'm just saying.
Because I don't get it. You drafted 2 running backs and two quarterbacks.
2 quarterbacks.
I don't get.
And they drafted the boy. What's his name?
Yeah, they got him before they got Shador.
Dylan Gabriel. Who they picked
Yeah.
him up? Where they picked this? Round 3, pick 84. What? And
Who? 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 Is this on? Is this on? Who?
Well, it's only 3. Well, the reason why I say Shador has a chance, so there's only 3 spots.
Not
He
to
got
mention,
he got a chance because look at that quarterback room.
Yeah.
He got a real
Flacco gonna
chance.
throw pick after pick.
well, everybody keep talking about the quarterback room, but it ain't that large if you really think about it. It's going to be between either Flacco and probably Shador, because we all know the Browns don't want Watson no more. He's cooked.
He done.
He's just on the roster, taking up spots, stealing money. Flacco's old. He's an old butt. You know what I mean? But whatever he got left, it's pretty much going to be Dylan Gabriel and Shador and Flacco fighting for the spot. And we ain't. You see, I ain't even mentioned the boy, Little Hands. He ain't even gonna have
That was disrespectful. You ain't mentioned Kenny Pickett. That's
He-
disrespectful,
bro,
sir.
nobody thinks he's a real quarterback. He can't do nothing. He had a chance to start for the Steelers prime. He had his chance.
Yeah, he
He's
did.
cooked.
He did.
I mean, the funny part is though, when you look at the Steelers quarterback room, Pickett's can still start for them.
What,
Oh,
man? You don't
man.
believe in Will Howard? Will Howard is there.
Well, Howard doesn't believe in Will Howard. Come on,
Nobody
man.
don't.
Oh man,
on, man.
I think Will Howard would be better than Kenny Pickett. Pickett
I
he was
don't
god
know.
I
awful.
don't know about all that.
I don't know. I don't know.
He was god awful, man. But moving on, Mo. Let's talk about your Niners pick, man. How you
I
feel
love it.
about that? You love it?
Look, the Niners had to go heavy on defense. This is an important draft for John Lynch and company, and they did that. They went out and they pursued a lot of defensive playmakers. I love every draft pick they made, even the late ones. They drafted a couple of explosive offensive players, so I'm good with that. I'm good. I think they had a really good draft. This was an important draft because they needed to draft players, especially on the defensive side, who could play right away, and they got at least 3 guys that can do that.
Hey, Cottrell said put some respect on Will Howard. He's a champion.
Okay.
Dag.
Okay.
Put some respect.
Man.
Come on, Will. How you feel about the Niners picking up a lot of defense, man, and not too much offense?
I love what the Saints did, because the Saints need to look. The Saints are an older team, but they need to get young on both sides of the football. I love what they did. I love the Stetson pick. I love that one. The one that really sort of kind of shocked me, and I was sort of kind of shocked he was there at 184. Your boy Devin Neal from Kansas. He's gonna go right behind Kamara and be that backup running back. So I love everything that they did, with exception of the Tyler Shaw pick. I don't like it. But other than that, I thought the Saints did a good job. A little bit different than what they've done in previous years. A lot of these guys, you will hear their name called on Sundays.
So why do you think the Saints went? Why do you think the Saints went Tyler Shaw instead of Shador or Ewers or somebody else other than him? I looked at I ain't never know the kid. I looked up, some of his game film, some of his stats, and it wasn't really too impressive, man. You spent 7 years in college and didn't really do nothing.
You spent 7 years in college, you're a professor.
Pretty much.
At that point,
Pretty
you're staff at that point.
And that's what makes me question the pick. He didn't have a chance to really play a lot of football, even though that one year he did put together that one good year. Other than that, a couple of games hurt, a couple of games hurt, a couple of games hurt. And that's what I don't like. Look, your best ability is availability. And if you're coming up with broken bone injuries in college at that speed of the game, what you gonna do with a much faster game with guys that have families on the line? Come on now. I'm just saying, yeah, is he prototypical? Sure. 6'5", 220? Prototypical? Yeah. But he's an older guy. I just ain't feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. No.
That dude 25, they still waiting for him to pop. Come on, man.
He's 26 when the season starts.
Killing.
when the season
You're killing me. Come on,
He'll be
man.
26
I
when
mean,
the season
the
starts.
league is watering down some, man.
He'll be 26 when the
Quarterbacks can
season.
survive until about 40 now.
Carmike, he'll be 26 when the season starts.
That's what I'm saying, but
Come on now.
quarterbacks is getting a longer lifespan.
Hey,
now,
if he has a Pro Bowl career, then it's going to be one of the most genius moves ever made. But if he doesn't, it's going to be hammer time.
It'll be bad.
I just thought this was an important draft for a lot of teams. And I do think a couple teams gambled, but you know what? We'll see if they pay off. I thought watching this particular draft, teams drafted very strategic this year. Very strategic.
Did they?
I did. I thought so. And look, if you think about how far Shedeur fell, aside from that, I thought a lot of teams they were drafting for need. Even though we know quarterback is the most important position, there are a lot of teams that have a lot of needs across the board. And Carmike brought it up earlier. If you've got a horrible offensive line, it won't really matter what your quarterback is if he's laying on his back all the time.
And that's the one thing I will give the Saints. I did want them to get Shedeur. I was part of the coverage that Wire to Wire did that night, and I did want Shedeur to go 9, but looking at the Saints history, they've always built from the line first, and that was a good move. I went back and looked them up. Kelvin Banks Jr. I thought at the end of the day, it's a good pick for the other side of the line. You can put him at left or right.
Well, that was round 1. Round 2, y'all went and got a quarterback, and it wasn't Shedeur.
That's what I'm saying.
Cool,
so
y'all
first,
went.
So I did want Shedeur Sanders at 9. I did want him there, but we did need help on the line. So we went ahead and got that. We went ahead and got that taken care of. You could have took him at 40, or you could have moved up from 40 to take Shedeur, but
they didn't have to. They could have got him 2. They could have got him round 3.
Yep.
No, Tyler. That's who you want.
I didn't want him.
Come on.
But look, and I said it then. You can go back and look at the transcript. I said then, if we take offensive line first round and go back and get Dart the second, I'm cool with that. Dart was gone. So
Dart, I can respect being gone, because he's a solid quarterback. Will anybody else say? But anybody else, man, like Tyler,
this quarterback draft was weak as a whole anyway.
But is that Dart move?
Jalen Milroe, what
is the Dart move? A good move going for the Giants?
Milroe pick.
But remember though, the Giants GM and coach have a mandate: win or you're fired. Is the Dart pick a good pick? Because he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's going to come out and be the number 1 quarterback and lead you to the playoffs. So they're fired. They're fired. If he turns out to be a good player, they won't know because they won't be part of the organization. They drafted for the next regime. That's what it is. Yeah, I guess they're hooking up the replacements because they're not going to get to find out how good he is. They're going to be fired.
I didn't understand the Milroe's pick. I didn't understand that. That's just me.
I didn't
understand that one.
I'm saying Milroe, the Browns go ahead, Dylan Gabriel, and then turn around a few rounds later, pick Shedeur.
This quarterback class was weak anyway, though.
It was weak, but the top
it wasn't like last year's.
The top players should have went in round 1, 2, and 3. The top QBs.
Yeah. This is that's right, Kyle. This is going to be one of the most forgettable quarterback class drafts ever. It was weak. It was really weak.
Quinn Ewers got picked up by them Dolphins, man. Will, how we feel about this pick, man?
I agree with Gene. That receiving core and that coaching staff.
Whoa, because we all know Reek want to get out of there now.
I'm gonna say that receiving core ain't gonna be there that long. This dude's a rookie. How long you think Reek gonna be there?
But this is
Reek want to get out now.
But this is going to give him a chance. But this will give him a chance to at least establish himself. And with the way Tua goes in and out of the lineup with injuries, and I hate injuries for anybody. Let me say that right now before people tell me I want quarterback to be here. I don't want quarterback to be here.
Injury. He's getting concussions. He's going to retire.
Concussion and his injury history, he's going to get a chance to get in there and prove himself.
Like he one step away from wearing the big padded,
padded helmet.
The bobblehead helmet thing on his stuff while he playing football. That it looks ugly to me. Like I don't know.
I I don't think Cape Fear gonna be that good quarterback. I don't think he's gonna be that good at all. I think that it's not like he's gonna out now beat Tua out. He's not. He's going to be the backup. His only chance of playing, he literally would have to hope for Tua to get hurt, which I get it. He's got an injury history, but I don't think Cape Fear is gonna be a good quarterback. I don't
think he's gonna be a good quarterback, Mo.
Because I seen enough of him. I think he's just a guy. I think he's just a guy. I think he's a jag. I think he's just another guy. He's a guy.
Reverend Winston. Yes. Jameis Winston. Yes.
So y'all said that this was, people drafted as needed for this draft. The Bears pick Colston Loveland, number 10. I think there was other tight ends, wide receivers you could have picked to be a more reliable threat. This dude played 3 years, 39 games, 117 receptions, and 1,400 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns.
And got Cole Kmet sitting right there still.
I don't think that was a good pick, man. Like,
and Cole Kmet is still
how
there.
How you feel about this pick at number 10 for the Bears, man?
Cole Kmet is still there.
Look, I think there's people that you can look at and you can get caught up in numbers, but I would say that his strengths, he's a tight end that can go vertical. It gives you a vertical threat at the tight end spot.
Does he?
Yeah. He is.
Mo, did you not hear me? He played 3 years and only got 1,400 yards.
Right. So I understand what you're talking about, and I'm talking about don't just get caught up in numbers. Look at the system that he played in. He's going to play in a different system with a quarterback that's going to fling the football. What's a young quarterback's best friend? Run game and a good tight end. I think that kid's going to put up numbers in that system.
I don't know, man.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? A bunch of
right now? Brock Bowers setting the bar high for tight ends right now. That boy is crazy.
But
right, and Bowers is terrific. He's terrific.
Or maybe Ben Johnson want to do a double tight end set because, like I said, Cole Kmet's still there. It's still very productive. So he may want to run a double tight end set, and Loveland can go down and he can catch the football. He's not a blocking tight end. He can catch the football. So that might be the reason why they made that pick.
He put it the best way. He does fit Ben Johnson's system. And don't sleep how great a play caller and innovator Ben Johnson is. I'm just saying that what he's trying to do is he's trying to give Caleb Williams weapons across the board in different formations. I like what they're going to do out there potentially in Chicago. The only question I have is, are they going to be able to get as many stops defensively to match up what they do on the offensive side? I think their offense is going to be explosive.
And don't forget, they retooled that offensive line for old boy too. So don't forget that as well.
But wouldn't you want to go get another reliable weapon though? Like, I don't know if he's like
tight ends can be weapons. What are you talking about?
I mean, he can, but Loveland, I don't believe in him like that, man. I think they should have just went with a wide receiver, somebody. Because come on, DJ Moore, Rome, and Luther, you gonna need somebody else.
No, I like what you just said. Think about that. You got a Rumsey and DJ Moore. Like, think about that receiving core. Just those two guys.
That's better
than most teams. Where are you going to put another wide receiver at that's going to really get a lot of snaps and be productive in that offense? I don't think they needed another wide receiver. I think they're good at the wide receiver spot.
I don't know if the wide receivers is going to be enough, man. They had Keenan Allen last year.
I question the Keenan Allen pick just for the fact he's a possession receiver. He's not a vertical threat. I question that pick.
I agree with Will, but that's what Keenan Allen is. We know it is. He's a chain mover. He does all his stuff in the middle of the field. He moves the chains. He's not a vertical threat. But put a Keenan Allen around two guys that are vertical threats, he becomes a lot more effective that way. So I just think he was in the wrong system.
McMillan, Etienne, Horn, and the Panthers also picked up Bashan Muhammad's son off of free agency recently. Will, what do we see happening with Bryce Young in this season coming up, man? Do you see him turning it around for himself?
I like McMillan. I really, really do. I really like him. That's a perfect pick for the Panthers. A perfect pick for them. It's going to help them open that offense up. Hopefully that run game can get going. But yeah, I like that pick a lot, and it makes a lot of sense. And again, you saw Bryce improve as the season progressed, so that was a good pick.
Come on, Mo. Talk to me about this draft with the Panthers, man. Do you see them turning it around? Bryce Young, man. You see him?
I think they're trying to finally build around him instead of have him adjust to what they're doing. It's the weirdest thing ever. Normally, you try to build the offense around the quarterback. They had a system, and they told the quarterback to adjust to the system.
Yep.
So I think they finally realized we have to play to his strengths. We've got to get him some more weapons. They've got to shore up that offensive line. I think they'll be better. Do I think the Panthers are going to be a team that we're going to be talking about late in the season? I don't. But I think
they got a lot of holes.
I think they've taken some steps forward in terms of what they're doing for Bryce Young.
Yep.
We're at the 30-minute mark. I want to move on just a little bit, man. We can talk about more NFL draft tomorrow morning. Let's get into some NBA, man. I know Mo was itching to get here. I know you was itching a little bit too, Will, to get here, man. The T-Wolves. But we're gonna start with you this time. The T-Wolves up 3-1, man, in the first round. Been some close barn burner games between them. But the Lakers just couldn't pull it off, man. Do you feel LeBron and Luka could pull off a reverse sweep?
Well, could they? They could.
No, a real legitimate chance. Do you really think they can make it happen?
Could they do it? Sure, they could. but here's the thing: when you came into this series, you thought that the trio that was going to be the toughest to cover was going to be LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. But the best trio in this series has been Ant, Julius Randle, and Jaden McDaniels. And if you told me coming into the series, Jaden McDaniels was going to average close to 20 points a game, I'd have been like, how? When?
I think you already said we was going to get swept if you did that.
Right. Jaden McDaniels is averaging 19 a game. Man came in and averaging 12 points a game for the whole season. Shoots 30% from three. And all of a sudden, he's like the man. He's come up with every big play. Look, here's the thing. I think Anthony Edwards has been the best player in this series, but he hadn't had a monster game. When the Lakers lost game 3, that's when I got concerned because I thought we still haven't seen an Anthony Edwards 38, 40-point explosion. And we got that yesterday. He was the best player by far last night. And let me give credit where credit is due. Julius Randle has played. This is the best stretch of playoff basketball he's ever played on both sides of the ball. Julius Randle does not defend at a high level, but if you watch him throughout this series, he's being physical at the point of attack defensively. He's attacking the basket, playing more to his strength rather than just settling for threes. And look, coming into this series, we knew the Wolves had a better bench. We knew they had DiVincenzo and they had Naz Reid. What blew me away was that J.J. Redick yesterday decided, I know we're not deep, so we're just going to keep the 5 that we play with on the entire second half. I did not agree. I did not agree with that strategy, and I get it. Look, I heard somebody make the argument, Mo, they still had a chance to win late. Yeah, they did. But if you watch the game, in the second half, the Lakers had multiple 10-point leads, and the Wolves would walk them down. That was fatigue. I
mean, it was. You seen Anthony was beating up on LeBron. He was getting real physical with LeBron, man.
LeBron plays physical too, though. I mean, good for my thing about Edwards is this. It's one thing to talk it. It's another thing to put it out there on the floor. I thought he put it out there on the floor. I thought he literally was unguardable when he needed to be unguardable. I thought too many times he settled for jump shots when he could take it to the basket. Last night, Anthony Edwards shot 17 free throws. Now, LeBron, I think LeBron shot 18. LeBron had a James Harden game. The man had 27 points and only took 9 shots because he lived at the free throw line. The only thing about that is LeBron had 22 points in the first half. I think he had 6 in the second half. Like, you could tell fatigue was an issue, but I'm not making excuses. I think Minnesota has been the better team down the stretch. They outscored the Lakers in the fourth quarter on Friday. They outscored the Lakers again on the fourth quarter yesterday. When you're going a 32-10 run in the fourth quarter, you can't tell me that's not fatigue. They outplayed them and they outcoached them. Redick took a gamble and it didn't pay off.
Well, no Lakers in 5, man. It got to be Lakers in 7 now. So, how you feel about this series?
Ain't gonna be Lakers in 7 at all. Look, dog collar, I'll holler, Dame Dollar. Bulls in 5. Just kidding. I just think that the Lakers lack of defense is killing them. They're not playing good defensive basketball at all. They have no rim protection to cover up for those mistakes. Luka, as great as he is offensively, is a walking cone on defense. And again, Mo, you said it. Julius Randle's playing the best basketball ever. Why you think that is? Why you think
Mo
that
called him out? That's why.
I mean, it is. I mean, that is Mo's favorite player after all. But I'm just saying.
Julius Randle and Tobias Harris are my favorite players.
Oh man, but I just think that it's the lack of defense. It's the lack of defensive intensity from the Lakers. And the way Minnesota has been coming in offensively has just been because we look. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when they played Denver in that series, we counted them out then too. And we counted them out in this series, and they're coming to prove everybody wrong. So I don't think that the Lakers can win 3 straight games. I don't think so. Because you got your next game, Wednesday in LA, and you go back to Minnesota. I don't think they win 3 games in a row. I really don't. I think this series can be in essence over. And again, between now and the end of the series, the Lakers won't be better defensively. And for him not to put his bench in yesterday at all, that shades of Tom Thibodeau, and that's always a bad thing. We saw it with Tibbs, and we're seeing it now. So that was a bad call on JJ's part. I just think Minnesota takes this, and we'll see where they go from there.
Give credit where credit is due, though. Minnesota has a strategy offensively, especially late in games. They involve Luka in every action. Yep. Every action when they attack, they involve Luka.
Yep, because they know he'll walk in.
Right. So, you can take your pick. You can attack Austin Reeves or you attack Luka's easier to attack, but they involve him in every pick and roll or every screen and roll action, and they kind of get what they want. And the funny thing is, on the other end of the floor, even though he's played staggered minutes, the Lakers have not been effective at attacking Rudy Gobert. Gobert, when he's been in the game, to his credit, when he's been in the game, his time on the floor has been very productive for the Timberwolves, even though they're playing him in staggered minutes. Yep. To me, it's real simple. Anthony Edwards has been the best player in this series. And you can make an argument that Julius Randle has been the 3rd best player at worst. And that's crazy. That's crazy to think when you're talking about a series that includes LeBron James and Luka Doncic. But I'm just being real. I give credit to where credit is due. Minnesota starting 5 has beaten the brakes off the Lakers starting 5.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. It's proven to be one of the best series in the first round, man. Nuggets Clippers, man. Very solid series, man. They've been coming down to barn burners and last minute who can make the last shot or who's gonna make the last mistake to win this game, man. Mo, talk to me about these Nuggets and Clippers game, man. Who do you see pulling this off?
Before the series even started, I couldn't even call it. I told Brett, I said, this is the one series that I think goes 7, and it's a pick 'em. Every strength that the Nuggets have, the Clippers have deficiencies at. On the flip side, every strength that the Clippers have, the Nuggets are deficient. The Clippers are the deeper team. But just on starting 5, the Nuggets starting 5 is still better than the Clippers starting 5. And I think it's an interesting game of chess. Every game has been close. It's been 1-possession games. I still think it goes 7. I think the Clippers will win the next game, and then the Nuggets will turn it around and take it to 7. You've gotten everything you've wanted out of this series. You've seen Joker put up elite numbers, be dominant at times. You've seen Kawhi Leonard look like the all-NBA player he can be when he's fully healthy. James Harden has been terrific at times in this series. I would say this. Had the Clippers done a very fundamental thing in the last game, like block out, they would have won that game too. All you had to do was block out. It's a fundamental thing. You've got to put a body on somebody, and it cost them. This game, I really think this is going to be the best series of the first round. I think this is going 7, and I have no idea who's going to win. But as a fan, I'm here for it.
Well, Nuggets Clippers, man. How we feel about it?
Yeah, this is going to be close. This is going to be a pick 'em. And this is everything.
Who
It's
you
just like,
picking?
it's a pick 'em. I ain't picking nobody. You ain't getting me on that ledge. Will said the Clippers go, no, you ain't getting me on that ledge. But I just think that this is great for the fans and it's great for the media because it gives you all these compelling storylines. Both teams are closer than what you think, and it's a pick on both teams are playing well. Denver starting five is great. You're seeing a little bit more bench play from the Clippers, so I'm thinking this is going to be a pick 'em. It could go either way.
Well, we coming back to you with this one, man. Looking like a sweep for them Knicks, man, or a gentleman's sweep. You know, they got the Pistons. The Pistons been fighting, you know, the young core they are, man. But it looks like Brunson and company is about to take it, man. Talk to me about the series.
So disappointing. For the uninitiated, I hate the Knicks. I hate them with a passion. Every time they win, my day is ruined. Or my night's ruined, depending on when they play. I need Detroit to get better shooting from Detroit. I need to see a more consistent offense from the Pistons. I don't know. Last game they shot terrible, and I think that's what cost them in the end. I need them to go out there and play more of a consistent offense, shoot better late, because right now Jalen Brunson is doing whatever he wants. The Knicks in 5. Look, Jalen Brunson is doing what he wants to do. He's getting to the basket. Even Cat with his soft self is actually making contributions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's disappointing, but it looks like the Knicks are going to win this. So disappointing, man.
Mo, Knicks Pistons, man. Talk to me.
So Coach Bickerstaff before the series said he wanted it to be a physical series. And the Pistons do play a physical brand of basketball. I'm not sure that has worked out for them. For the series, the Pistons have been called for over 90 fouls. The Knicks for over 80 fouls. By far, the most fouls called in any series in the first round of these playoffs. If you watch the last game, clearly on that three-point attempt, Josh Hart fouls Tim Hardaway Jr. Clearly. Now, I think that one of the dumbest thing in all of sports is the NBA 2-minute report, because when you go back and go, oh yeah, we should have made that call, that doesn't help the other team that lost. That does nothing for me. I would rather you lie and say you still don't think he fouled him. Don't tell me you should have called that. It doesn't mean anything. The outcome of the game is done. And look, to be fair, even if they called that foul, there's no guarantee he makes all 3 free throws. But still, that was a horrible missed call and a critical moment of a series. And by the way, had they done that, made the right call, maybe it's a different series. I think the Pistons, in my opinion, watching this series play out, even though they're the more physical team, I don't think they've gotten the same whistle as the Knicks have gotten.
So, Mo, the rumors is that the Pistons could be adding a veteran talent coming next season, man. KD to the Pistons. Do you think KD can make a real difference with these Pistons next year?
Sure. It would give them a closer. He would not go to the Pistons being the man. That's Cade Cunningham's team. So he would, but he could be the closer. Man, I'm not trying to be funny and be disrespectful to Pistons fans, but just KD in that uniform would just seem weird. That's just a weird look. I don't know if I want to see that, but yeah, I think that absolutely would make a big difference for them. But what I want to give the Pistons credit for is they took the young team, installed a culture, and they've bought into it. I don't know. I get it. The idea that bringing KD there sounds good, but it still is a 36-year-old Kevin Durant. Is he really part of their future? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that Kevin Durant on the Pistons takes the Pistons to the finals? I actually don't. I don't think so. If the goal is to win a championship, you put Kevin Durant with Cade Cunningham. I think that's interesting, but I think that plays out better on 2K than it does in real life.
I don't know because KD give you 26 points. But you don't think 26 points can help the Pistons right now in the playoffs?
What I'm gonna tell you is, it would help them beat the Knicks. KD and Cade Cunningham, they're not beating the Celtics. By the way, Cottrell agrees with me. It's a horrible fit. I don't see it. I don't see it. Some things sound better on a video game than in real life.
Oh man, Will, you don't like that? You don't like this?
I don't like it at all because I don't think he'll fit into the culture well. I really don't think he'll fit into the culture. I don't think he would fit but he won't fit into the culture because they look, they're a physical basketball team. Kevin Durant is a finesse player. So he's not gonna be out there throwing elbows, trying to play good defense on anybody. Yeah, he'll be down there scoring. I'll give him that. The dude is, even at 36, is still a walking bucket. But I just think it's a bad fit, and I don't think he'll fit into that culture because, again, that's a tough, gritty team who plays hard. Last time you seen Kevin Durant play hard on the defensive end. Come on now.
Really? That was it.
Never.
No,
Even at the peak of his powers, he's never done that.
No, he was playing defense with the Warriors.
He played defense
even the peak of, he's never played defense or tough physical defense. I think on the Pistons, that's an awful fit.
So we're starting with you again, Will. Grizzlies get them brooms.
Getting the brooms ready.
Do you see Ja still being the man for the Grizzlies starting next year?
As their superstar, okay, I'll give you that. As their superstar, as their leader, no. But as a superstar, yeah. But as a leader, no. This team is a long way from being what they need to be. There's no one there to rally the troops, so to speak, when times get tough. And when you let the OKC Thunder jump ahead of you by so many, there's nobody there to say we can still do this. We can still win this basketball game. There's no one there.
They was ahead in some of them games, man. They were, but there's just nobody there. But there's just nobody there. What was that? Game 3? They had them up. It was down 20. The OKC was down 29.
But I'm just saying,
we don't think coaching come into play on that. No, nobody think that. Ja's gonna be he's gonna be a superstar, but he's not a leader. There's no leader on that team.
They decided on that coaching change, which, by the way, the guy that took the former coach's job, he went 4-5 down the stretch of the season, and then he got swept. So he don't have a great record as a head coach. Clearly, that wasn't an upgrade. Yep. To answer the question, let me rewind back. First of all, Ja Morant's not a superstar. Let's stop saying that.
He not.
He is not. That is one of the biggest problems with today's NBA.
Oh, Mo, I need to understand why.
They call every superstar for that team.
They call everybody a superstar. He's not a superstar. He's an all-star. He's an all-star, and he's the best. And he's a look. He might have a superstar highlight reel. He is not a superstar. If Ja Morant is your best player, you'll never win a title. How about that? Is that simple enough? If he's your best player, you'll never win a title. That's not made up. That's a factual statement. He's not that dude. Y'all try to make him out to be that. Everybody's not that dude. I've heard the argument, well, he's about to become the face of the league. I didn't select him that. Somebody else must have said he was going to be that. Anthony Edwards came into the league in the second year of his NBA career. I already knew he was better than Ja Morant. Already knew. Ja Morant is a terrific basketball player, but if he's your best player, do not confuse the highlight reel with the actual ball player. He is not a franchise player. Y'all have to stop that. That's why last week we was doing the Ja Morant R, and more times than not, we took the other player for a reason.
I think Ja Morant is the superstar for that team, not for the league, but for that team.
Well, that's sad.
Ja Morant, before he got suspended 2 years in a row for doing his
doing his little thing,
his social media thing, but he was Derrick Rose. He was going in the Derrick Rose realm when Derrick Rose is at the peak of his MVP career.
But that's a good example. That's a good example. I'm glad you said that.
Mm-hmm.
The year Derrick Rose won the MVP, he was the MVP of the league. but nobody thought Derrick Rose was the best player in the league because he wasn't.
Whoa,
He
whoa,
won
whoa,
the
whoa,
MVP,
whoa,
but he wasn't
whoa.
the best player. It's not a whoa.
He was up there,
the
though.
best.
He wasn't the best, but he was in there.
So when I said he wasn't the best player in the league, am I incorrect? No, I'm not
No,
incorrect. He
no,
wasn't
you're
the
not.
best player in the league.
He
John
wasn't.
Morant. What does
He was
John
one
Morant
of
have?
them.
Hey, see what I'm saying, Will?
He
Again,
was one of them.
again, but you guys are just proving my point. You're saying, well, did I
He
say
one
he
of
was?
them.
What did I say? He was one of them, or was he the best player in the league? He was not the best player in the league. He was not. All I'm saying is how about this? We can do this. Is John Morant getting ready to win the MVP anytime soon? Ever? The answer is no.
Oh no.
He will
Oh,
never.
no.
He
Not
will.
anymore.
He will.
Oh, no.
Was not. It's
Oh,
not
no.
anymore.
Not even then.
No, because
not never. Not never.
no, because I
So-
think if he didn't get in trouble with that gun stuff, I think he would have got. I think he would have got an MVP by now.
He's a-
'Cause
look,
I
Look,
disagree.
in Memphis-
I think that was a problem, and I understand that. But he was never. John Morant was never cited as being the best player in basketball. Let's not
Look.
get crazy. Let's
Look, I
not get
will say
crazy
this.
and go. He was about to be the best player in basketball. That is insanity.
Look, I'll say this.
He
For
is
that
not
team,
a superstar.
for that team, for that market, that's what Ja is. But for the league overall, no.
No,
No.
I don't think the best player in the league is the only superstar. I'm just saying in the city of Memphis, they ain't got no superstar.
Is Devin Booker a superstar?
No.
I don't know if Book's a superstar, but I tell you what
No.
he is he's better than John Morant.
Yep.
Damn.
He's better than
I
John
agree with
Morant.
that.
What is the
Whatever-
disrespect
whatever-
for John
whatever-
Morant?
whatever-
I agree with that.
Whatever you think of Book's a better basketball player than John Morant.
I agree with that.
Oh,
And that's
man.
saying something, Mo.
So Mo, let's talk about the Warriors and Rockets, man. Steph has been playing. He been in Steph mode. I mean, there's no other mode that can match what he does, man. And he's been turning it all the way on, man. How you feel about this series, man?
I feel like even when Jimmy Butler got hurt, I told you this last week that Golden State was going to win the series. Houston is the perfect first round opponent, not just for Golden State, for anybody. They don't have any shooting. How do you win if you don't have any shooting? That's all I'm saying. Here's the thing. Jalen Green is their leading scorer. Jalen Green is shooting 39% from the field, 33% from the 3-point line. Fred VanVleet is shooting 26% from the field. He's shooting 20% from three. The Houston Rockets are not going to win this series, and Jimmy Butler doesn't have to play another single game. They can rest him the rest of the series and still beat Houston because Houston will beat themselves. They do not have enough offense. That's the problem. You could say they could go to Şengün, but Şengün can't dominate a game like that consistently. He's talented, but he's not a number one option. They have problems. The number one destination for Kevin Durant is not Detroit. It's Houston.
Houston?
Doing the work. Who said Detroit? No.
He said Houston. Houston.
Oh,
is,
okay.
that's
Houston.
the- is the
Okay.
best
Houston.
destination.
Okay. That makes more sense.
No shooting. No, they have a bunch of athletes, but watch them play when they're not playing fast and they have to execute in the half court. The Houston Rockets are one of the worst offensive teams in all the NBA. Jalen Green is one of the biggest frauds in the NBA. He is.
Dang, he's a young boy, man.
He's a young. Well, you could be young and be a fraud. He's still a fraud.
I agree. I agree on the offensive side of the football. I agree on the offensive side of the basketball.
Fraud is crazy, bro.
He's a fraud. If I was Wingstop, I would seriously consider firing the guy to make Jalen Green the face of Wingstop.
Hey, Will. Hey, Mo Pie in the day, bro.
Man, look, I agree with Mo to a certain extent. The basketball IQ and offense has to get better.
He's
because
23 and he is a fraud.
Because if the Rockets aren't running and gunning, getting turnovers and doing their thing on the defensive side of the basketball, and they have to defend half court or play half court basketball, the basketball IQ needs to be better. I ain't gonna call old boy a fraud though.
No, he's a fraud. He's a fraud. Here's all you need to know. So a lot of times when we get into these discussions and we start talking about different eras of basketball, right? And physicality and what they allow and don't allow, right? the physicality that they allow in this era, he is soft as hell. If you get into him, he's soft as hell. Jalen Green cannot handle any kind. He has got. Here's what I say. This guy, I've played against guys like this. All the talent in the world, but if you get up in that ass, he got a lot of quit in him. He got a lot of quit in him.
This is the first time in the playoffs, Bo ain't giving you no grace, man.
Here's the grace. Get better. Before you go to the arena, eat a big old bowl. Eat a big bowl of heart and guts. Eat a big bowl of heart and guts.
It was said in the chat. He's only 23, bro.
Yeah, let me ask you this. We make this. Hey. Let me ask you this. We keep because the way the NBA is now, guys don't come in the league at age 23. Guys come in the league at 18. By the time you're 23, you're a 4 or 5 year veteran. He's not a rookie. He's not a rookie, but he is a fraud.
Yo, man, I'm dying.
He turned the day, man. He pied for real, man.
I'm dying, man.
Oh, man. Let me talk, man. So it looks like Will is about to be the Knicks and the Celtics next round 2, man. Do you see the Knicks competing with the?
You already know my answer. Hell
no.
No.
Let's take the hate out of it, Will. Let's take the hate out of it.
Hell no.
Talk to me basketball,
Hell no,
man.
They ain't beating the Celtics. Hell no.
Talk to me basketball, Will.
Hell no. Celtics in 5.
Hey, Will.
I'll give the Lakers one. I'll give the Knicks one home game.
What? On a basketball level? Yeah.
I'll give one home game. I ain't giving them nothing else.
I think that's a gentleman's sweep. That's a gentleman's sweep.
The Celtics are too deep. That's the first thing. They're a deep team. It don't have to be necessarily Tatum or Brown that kills you.
Keep that hate.
Exactly. I'm keeping the hate. I'm keeping it. It could be White that kills you, Porzingis that kills you. It could be anyone from that team. Even Al Horford can still come up and kill you. So between the depth that team has,
watch Al Horford lock that up.
The way that they play on offense. No, I'll give the Knicks one. I'll give them the first home game. That's all I'm giving them.
This is an ongoing rivalry between the Knicks and the Celtics.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
This is an ongoing butt whooping. This is not a rivalry.
This ain't no rivalry.
They're not the defending champions by accident. Before the season even started, if you told me, well, the Celtics are going to meet the Knicks, you still would have picked the Celtics. The Celtics are the better team. And I actually disagree with Cottrell. I'm a big Jalen Brunson fan. He's not a better player than Jason Tatum. Stop saying that.
Nope. Not at all.
The Jason Tatum slander must stop. Jalen Brunson is not better than Jason Tatum.
Nope, sure about ain't.
Hey, yo, what's up, Will? Why so much hate for the Knicks, man?
I hate them because
please tell the people why do we
hate the Knicks because they think they're better than what they are. They think they're better than what they are.
There's a lot of passion behind that, Will.
I am. They think they're better than what they are. They're not. They're good enough to get to round 2. That's as far as they get. They're good enough to get to round 2. That's it. They're done. I
think it's just because if they going in round 2 against the Celtics, that's what probably would stop them.
It could be Cleveland,
but on any given series.
I was gonna say, do you think the Knicks could beat the Cavs? Because I don't think they could beat the Cavs in the series either.
No, they can't beat the Cavs either.
I don't know. I think they can match up with the Cavs, man.
No, they can't.
What?
No, they can't.
The Celtics, I can understand, but the Cavs, they still new to this. Donovan Mitchell ain't like this. He like that, but the Cavs,
it don't matter. Talent wins out. Like that. Listen. Talent wins in the playoffs.
First time making a run.
Cleveland has.
I think Cleveland is.
Other than Donovan Mitchell, the Cavs is the other. They still new to this.
No.
I think Cleveland and Boston. I think they're on track to meet in the conference finals. I'm here for it.
Me too. I ain't worried about the Knicks.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great morning, man. I'm glad everybody who stopped through with us, man. Will you have any closing remarks for the people?
I will be on later this evening at 10 p.m. Eastern for the Sports Report podcast. Got a lot to get into. We're going to talk about a lot of the same things you talked here. I think Seven's got a baseball rant he's going to go over, so y'all want to make sure you tune in for that in particular. That'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern time here on Wire to Wire Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure. Mo closes out, big dog.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wide Aware Network. We appreciate you.
Damn the Knicks.